What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Bo and I are on the river today. Not having much luck. River just came back into decent shape. We've been getting a bunch of rain. It's New Year's Eve. We thought we'd come out and try. I just broke off everything, so I'm going to go over how I rig my rods, since we're not having much luck fishing. What I have here is 40-pound braided line. That's my main line to my reel. I have here 25-pound mono. I'm going to do about 9 feet of this. 9.5 feet. Which is, I'm just guessing because it's about an arm's length and a half. So I should have about a 6-foot wingspan, and half should be 3 feet, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually change you guys over to the chesty here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my mono. I'm going to bring it about, I don't know, 4.5, 5 inches tail there, as you can see. Make a loop at the bottom. Take my braid, about the same, 4.5, 5 inches. I'm just going to wrap it around here about 11 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice and even. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You can see that's nice and even. Looks nice, looks good. I'm going to take it and feed it right back through that same loop there. Keep everything tight. Don't let nothing slip around. And you're just going to slowly pull it tight. Slowly cinch things down. Help it with your thumbnail maybe. Pull a little bit on the tail of this guy, just so everything cinches up nice and even. Give it a good tug once you get there. Let go of the short tails. Give it a good tug. It should cinch up pretty nicely. I'm going to take the tail ends, short ends. I'm going to cut them as close as I possibly can so I don't have a long tail just hanging there. Just like that. Grab your mono, cut it close as possible. Just like that. Give it an extra tug, make sure it ain't gonna come free or nothing. Feels pretty good, looks pretty good. Alright, now that we did that, I'm gonna pull out the tackle box. Since the water's pretty colored up, I'm gonna go with 12-pound. Do about maybe 1.5 foot of that. Grab one of my egg hooks here. I'm just going to do an egg knot. Take my line, feed it through the top, leave a little bit of a tail past your hook. Pinch it with your other hand. And I'm going to do about 6 wraps, wrapping down that line and around the hook. I'm going to take it, pinch it back with my fingers. Take the other end, feed it back through the top. I'm going to just take it and pinch it down with everything else. Kind of get this straightened out a little bit. Now you have the tail, which you just fed through the top, is what you're pinching in your fingers, and you're going to go back, get what you just wrapped around the first time, which is the main line, and wrap it around again 6 or 7 times. I always pull it back towards my pinky, put my pinky in the loop, and I'll pull it until it hits my pinky. I'll let go and just kind of help it through. Don't let it twist up too much. That usually doesn't happen, but yeah, just pull it tight. Take your tail, make sure your tail's going to stay in the back. Pull that tight. And then we'll take this extra that we left and just cut it off. Just like that. That's our egg loop. Now, I always like to put a bead or two to my hook. So I'm gonna grab a couple beads. Feed those on first. Just like so. Drop that down to the hook. Just like that. Now, I could use bigger. I don't have the right size, so I have that size and a bigger size. Like so. Those are more for like, that I'd use for like kings or something. But with how dark the water is, I want to go a little bit bigger. This is a kind of overkill for steelhead, but I'm going to use it anyway. Just feed that through, drop it down to the bottom. There you have your egg leader. Now you're going to take a 3-way swivel, just like you use for bobber dogging or anything else. Just a 3-way swivel. One end goes to your main line. Tie that on. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now take your leader. Tie that on to the other looped side. Okay, so now you have it tied just like that. Now for the weight, I've just got, what is this? 3/16 solid lead. Now obviously you're gonna adjust it to however the speed of the river is, obviously, right? So you'll cut what you need for how fast the river's moving. I'm gonna take about, I don't know, 1.5 here, inch. So I cut my lead. Now I'm gonna take my pliers. I'm gonna flatten one end down. And these pliers have the hole punch for lead. I'm gonna go ahead and punch it through. Just like that. There we go. Shook this guy before it spills everywhere. And you just obviously take that, put it on the swivel here. There you have it. There's my drift setup. Alright, we're going to pretend I just broke off this rod. This needs to be changed anyway. Alright, so here's my bead setup. I have the same thing, 25-pound tied to my this one. I have 40-pound Beyond braid on there, is what it's called. 40-pound Beyond braid, 20-pound mono. I like using these bead stoppers. These are, I don't know, they don't slip as much as the other ones. They will eventually, but I like them better for, they last quite a while. So we'll slip one of those on. That comes with a bead on there, so the bead comes with this little rubber stop. We'll put that on. We'll take our bobber, which is, I believe, a 1/2 ounce bobber. Slide that Bomac bobber on. So the bobber, the bead and bobber stop. I have another bead that goes below the bobber, just to help from beating up the knot a bunch. We'll put that on. Next is our 1/2 ounce inline sinker made by Northwest Tackle, good buddy of mine, based out of Port Angeles. He does leads for ocean fishing, he does leads for river fishing. He actually just got into beads, which I'm using, a cerise bead made by him. I'll tie that guy on there. And then from there, I like using long leaders for my beads. So this one's about 6 feet, maybe a little less, 6 feet or so. And I have his cerise bead on there. And then I like to tie my bead hooks like I do egg hooks. They just seem to sit better than if you were to tie them like a regular, I always call it a fisherman's knot. I don't know what kind of knot it is, but it's basically this knot that I'm doing to tie everything. So I'll just tie that down.
Can I see the sun?
And there you have it. That's how I rig up my bobber rods. Obviously, if this was a jig or something, my leader wouldn't be that long. It'd be cut down to like, for this river, I don't go no more than like 1.5 feet, 2 feet for jigs. But fishing beads, I like to have a nice long leader so it could get down and look natural, get deep, down as deep as the lead's gonna go, maybe deeper, and look as natural as possible. So there you have it. That's how I rig up my rods. Now let's catch a fish. We move down, or are you getting any bites down there anymore? We move down? I know Brian's hole's good for eggs and bobber. That's how he fishes it down here.